Today, 52% of college graduates are working in jobs that they don't require a higher education. 75% of them remain in this situation for a full decade after college. On top of that, 24% of hiring managers say that young graduates lack the essential skills necessary to perform that job. Even Harvard grads are having a hard time landing a job. So what happened? How did college become a ticket to the American dream? To a ticket of massive debt. How did college wreck the US labor market? One of the issues in which we can point the finger at is the simple fact that there is a massive amount of degrees today in which there is a huge surplus of graduates that are unable to find a job in fields like liberal arts, communications, and psychology. And there's huge shortages in other sectors that are high in demand, like healthcare, engineering, and other skilled trades.
Here's the bad news. If you are graduating from college with a liberal arts or humanities degree, it probably doesn't qualify you to do much in the professional world. And it pisses me off because I wish career offices at universities and the guidance offices and the people responsible for giving this advice professionally don't warn young people of that.
This is leading to a vast amount of young people unable to land a job after college, which has caused many Gen Zers to have to wait 5, 7, even 10 months before they can land a job.
I am currently 5 months, almost 6 months post-grad, and I still don't have a job.
7-month update of being humbled in the 2024 job market.
For all of US workers, job postings on places like Indeed for software development, data science, and marketing roles were at least 20% below pre-pandemic levels late last year. Government figures have shown that the hiring rate in the information industry is 30% lower than just before the pandemic, while finance hiring is down 28%. Those are those high-skilled, high-paying, white-collar jobs that many postgraduates are seeking.
The job market is weaker than it seems. The implied hiring rate plunged in the last 2 job reports. There are now more than 7 million unemployed Americans, and 1.6 million of them have been job searching for at least 6 months, according to the Labor Department. The job search has been especially tough for new college grads. We're seeing the largest gap on record between the unemployment rate for recent graduates and the overall rate for Americans with a college degree. Poor work ethic, few practical skills, and misaligned salary expectations are all factors, as well as pro-Palestine protest participation, according to new data. The one-liner is, the job market looks good only if you ignore what's really going on.
I think we're seeing the consequences of the job market having too many white-collar workers in an already saturated market. I think one of the reasons that frustrates me is the simple fact that job reports keep on coming out declaring that hiring rose to record levels and that unemployment is low. The economy is doing fantastic. But the sad reality is that many of those new jobs being created in the United States are just low-paying service jobs or other minimum wage jobs. These are the jobs in which many college graduates did not spend over $50K in 4 years to work in. This overproduction of white-collar jobs has been going on for the past few decades here. And right now, I think it's hitting a breaking point. The consequences of new graduates being unable to find jobs post-graduation has huge ramifications that can be felt all across the economy. Now, here's an example. A college graduate graduates from a 4-year university. Let's say they're out of state, so they're paying a bit more in tuition. They're going to be paying around $100,000. Unfortunately for them, they had to take out that $100,000 in a student loan, and they're unable to find a job in their advertising field. They're unable to find a job for 4 months. And after enough waiting, they decide to just work as a bartender, earning for maybe around $25 an hour, no benefits, but it's decent pay, because that $600 tuition payment is now due. They continue being a bartender for the next 10 years, and during those 10 years, their tuition bill has only lowered a few $1,000s since they're only able to make that minimum payment. And since the interest rate on that tuition loan is so high, they're really not making any progress there. Now, this is the dilemma that many Americans are facing today. The cost of tuition is so high, and it's only going to get worse from here. Prices are expected to increase around 5% for higher education in 2025, meaning Americans who have to borrow are going to have to borrow even more. The college debt crisis is like a ticking time bomb in this country. Like many ticking time bombs, it's set to explode eventually. When that's going to happen, I'm not sure. Even though inflation is still around, it's sticky, and prices keep on going up everywhere you look, many colleges are still focused on improving their facilities, and in doing so, they've been increasing their tuition costs a good bit for students. Many universities have focused on recruiting more and more students by improving their dorms and their rec centers, adding huge Olympic swimming pools, or something that you would see like on vacation. Some are even adding all-you-can-eat buffets. College students are eating away their money by attending universities that seem to be prioritizing recruitment over actual student learning and enrichment. And did you know, on average, 47% of the academic workforce is now made up of part-time or non-tenure track faculty? Many of these people have to juggle multiple jobs just to make ends meet, which is ultimately watering down the quality of education. It's a system that is stretched so thin that it's needed part-time workers in order to keep up with student demand in those big class sizes. Again, it constantly seems that colleges are so worried about increasing student enrollment that they're not so much worried about class quality or the quality of education. I remember I had this one online course about website or graphic development, something along those lines. And the professor didn't even know how to make a website. We were all in awe, and how did this person get employed? They were brought in last minute, and all of us students just knew it was a blow-off class. But the sad truth is that we all collectively paid thousands of dollars to take that required course with that underqualified teacher. Now, even tenured professors are sounding the alarm. In a recent survey, 47% of them said that academic standards have declined, while 37% of professors openly acknowledged to inflating grades, basically passing a student even though that they didn't really know what they were talking about. And yeah, this is definitely creating one of the worst supply and demand dynamics that we've ever seen in education and the country. Colleges are constantly pumping out graduates with inflated degrees, and it's leading to severe degree inflation in the US workforce. The fact that you can get any degree you want by taking an online class and using SparkNotes or an open book format tells you all you need to know about this broken system. I think one of the major failures that we've endured in education is the fact that we've completely disregarded any form of blue collar or trade field type of work to be discussed or to be even showcased in high schools. I remember being in high school and it was all about college and only college. That was your only option. It was either you're in college or you're failure. The stigma that only badly behaved delinquent kids were to become mechanics and plumbers. Those kids were not smart and they had no place in college or even in high-class society. Well, we're now seeing the horrible consequences of creating that stigma and failing to prioritize by putting the choice back in the students' hands. By not showing students trade schools as an option, we have effectively created an extremely fragile and overinflated college system. A system that is going far from the ethics that it sought so valuable. We are creating way too many college graduates with degrees that really the job market isn't asking for, and not enough trade workers. By 2031, 72% of jobs are projected to require post-secondary education or training beyond high school. But like we've been discussing in this video, pretty much half of those workers aren't even going to use that degree. And unfortunately, this is likely to continue to happen. People are now questioning the college dream because it'll leave them with massive debt, and they might regret going to college if they don't land a job that makes, say, 70, 80, 90 to 100K. Now, college helped lead the United States to become a superpower. After the United States won World War II, a new economic world order was developed and established, with the US being on top. This paved the way for new industries during the 50s, 60s, and the end of the 20th century. It led to rapid urbanization and a restructuring from an industrial economy to a more service and information-led economy. By 1956, FDR's GI Bill led 7.8 million American veterans to have finished high school and gone to college. College was once seen as a luxury, and it then became an economic staple in American life. LBJ's new policies cemented these facts into stone. When Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Higher Education Act of 1965, the goal was clear: make college more accessible to more Americans. It expanded federal financial aid, and back then, people truly believed that college degree was a golden ticket to economic mobility. And when many factories left the country in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, college became an even more pivotal, good decision for parents and schools. College was now the guaranteed ticket to the middle class. It was those decades that led high schools and parents to completely change their tone and basically say that college was the end-all, be-all. But now we're in a totally different economy, and the field has changed. Increased globalization now threatens many entry-level jobs for Gen Z. Countries like India can offer entry-level workers for way cheaper than that of American post-grads, something that really wasn't a problem for new graduates in the year 1999. This trend is likely to get worse and worse for new grads, as the future of outsourcing will continue to explode from $315 billion in 2023, with projections estimating the growth to be $739.4 billion by 2033. That's an annual growth rate of 8.9%. So postgraduate students are going to have an even more tougher time if they have to compete with outsourcing. And I think a lot of companies are going to continue to use outsourcing, especially as they see labor costs continue to grow in the US. Now, college students are facing even more challenges. This time it's with AI. A survey by the Society for Human Resource Management revealed that 78% of hiring managers believe that AI could lead to layoffs for recent graduates at their organizations. The study highlights that tasks such as data entry, email writing, and research are among those most susceptible to automation. And that really sucks, because when you're an entry-level worker, a lot of times you're writing emails, you're doing the research, you're doing kind of mundane tasks like note writing. And if that's going to be replaced by AI, then you might not need too many entry-level workers. I think we've entered an era of uncontrollable anxiety for young college graduates, one in which many are scared for life post-graduation.
Can someone make this whole getting a job after college make sense? I'm graduating from Texas A&M University with a really high GPA. I've had an internship, I've had jobs, I have a lot of social media experience, I've worked with brands, I'm pretty broad, I've done so much. I've been involved, I've worked my way through college. I'm graduating with honors, and I've applied to over 100 jobs and I can't get anything.
We've seen how cruel this post-pandemic work from home world can be, with HR simply sending a mass email saying that you're fired, or an HR person firing you over Zoom. I mean, can you blame so many young Americans being upset by the system that they were told since elementary school? The same system that emphasized that there would be no worries if they just went to college and got their degree. And I think Gen Z's predecessors, millennials, also expressed an incredible frustration during the 2008 Great Recession, when finding a job was incredibly difficult for so many years. And where does this lead us? Well, I truly believe it should lead us to adopt a different post-graduation preparation plan for students in high school. If students are taught the benefits of going to college, they also need to be taught the dangers and risks if they go to college too. Overall, we're living in a very tricky world here. One that makes entry-level work very difficult to find, even if you went to college and got your MBA at Harvard. Let that sink in. A Harvard MBA graduate is having a hard time. Now, I don't think this is forever. I think everything moves in cycles. I think 10 years from now, it could be a totally different market that loves entry-level workers, that needs graduate students, and that needs more college degrees. But right now, in our current economy, in this post-COVID world, things are going to be pretty difficult for the next few years. But I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is this a huge problem in our country, or is this something that's blown out of proportion? Let me know in the comment section. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out, and it helps shine a spotlight on issues like this. Well guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and like always, stay informed out there.